A question we commonly get here at Sound Stewardship is, when is the best time to take Social Security? Matt, what do you tell a client who is asking you the best time for them to turn on Social Security?
It depends, Jonathan. There's a lot that goes into it. We will get to the right answer, but it depends on each household situation.
I know we like to joke that we'll know the right answer and be able to tell whether we made the right choice at the client's funeral. At their funeral, we'll tell everybody they made the best Social Security choice, or, oops, they should have done something a little different. Unfortunately, unless you know the exact date of your death, you're not necessarily going to know the exact strategy to pick for Social Security. It might be helpful to tee up the range of options. The earliest most people can turn it on is age 62. And the latest at the moment is age 70. And so for every year you wait, it goes up 8%. Between 62 and 70, there's an age called full retirement age, which most individuals now is age 67. The average benefit is $2,500 a month at age 67. If that same person would turn it on at age 62, they would have to take a big cut and it would be around 1,750 a month. If they waited until age 70, it's about 3,100 a month. So that's a wide range between when somebody can take it at age 62 or wait all the way till age 70. So with those kind of factors in mind, what are some of the considerations that somebody should think of when they're trying to decide age 62, 67, 70?
Yeah, first two that come to mind for us is what's their income need? And do they have other resources and or employment that they might be able to lean on while they're waiting for a better time? But the second one that follows that pretty quickly is how long are they going to live? And that's why we joke about we'll know at your funeral, but your life expectancy dictates a lot of the value that you're going to extract from Social Security.
Yeah, if you know in your 60s that you have a condition that means you're probably not going to live long into your 70s, it doesn't make sense to wait for most people, right?
Right. Just get it going, but be mindful of how earned income will further reduce it if you're not careful.
Can you explain that? If you're still working and haven't earned income, when would that impact your Social Security benefits negatively?
Yeah, each year Social Security identifies an amount of which if you make over this amount, then for every $2 above the threshold, they'll reduce your Social Security benefit by $1. So for a 62-year-old, there's already a 30% reduction from your full retirement age already. Then if you have the earned income over a particular threshold, for every $2 over that you earn, they further remove Social Security by $1.
So if you make money, they actually penalize you if you're taking your benefit as well, right?
Correct.
When does that penalty go away?
At full retirement age, and for most folks, it's going to be age 67. So you can make as much as you want with no reduction in benefit at age 67.
For most of our clients, they're trying to decide, okay, if let's say at least I'm waiting till age 67, do I turn on then and get 3 years worth of benefit checks coming to me? Let's say the 2,500 a month or so. Or do I wait until age 70 and get a larger amount, but missed out on 3 years of that big payment? Which is better? For most people, there is a break even where you can mathematically add up, like, okay, what's the break even? When is that for most people?
The mathematical break even is typically late 70s to early 80s. If you can live beyond, let's just for today's purposes, past age 80, you probably would have been better to wait and start at something like age 70. Could be a little earlier, but something like age 70. If you're not expected to live beyond, let's call it 79, it would behoove you to take it now because mathematically it's not going to work out.
Yeah, now being if you're age 67,
If you're age
probably.
67, don't have good health prospects, it's appropriate to take it now.
The caveat to that is, you know, if it's a married couple, even though one spouse health might not be the greatest, but the other spouse, if they have maybe really good genes and all of their family members have lived into their 90s,
Mhm.
the surviving spouse gets to have the largest benefit, whoever that is. So let's say the
Right.
spouse with poor health has a higher benefit. If they pass away, then the surviving spouse, they don't get to keep 2 benefits, but they get to keep the one that was the largest. So if the spouse who's not in as great a health has a really big benefit, especially if they wait till 70, that could still go on to continue to bless the surviving spouse.
Sure.
It might be a reason that they delay, even if there might be a health reason to take it sooner than later. So
Yeah.
it's nuanced.
Yep. It's absolutely part of the timing strategy. Your health matters, and the health of your spouse matters in the timing.
So if you're age 67 and you don't wanna work anymore, but you also don't know if it's a good strategy to pull Social Security, what do you do in the meantime?
Well, then we still talking about what other resources can you appropriately pull from that would allow for that 8% annual increase of your Social Security benefit till age 70. And if you have good resources that can easily handle that without flinching, then it's probably okay to keep waiting.
So you're saying, for instance, if someone has a good sized 401k, maybe for those 3 years, the 401k funds more of their living expenses
Mhm.
until Social Security then picks up a bigger weight at age 70?
Yeah, it's okay to do that. Yes. If we're waiting for the spouse with the larger benefit to wait until age 70, but the other spouse is around 67, it is possible to take the lower benefit now at 67 while we're waiting for the other person. So there's kind of a middle ground where one's waiting, one's not. So you can mix and match when you're a married couple.
In fact, if one spouse hasn't earned as much over their lifetime, you have the option when you're turning on your Social Security to either choose your own or half of your spouse's benefit. And if you've been primarily a stay-at-home parent or for whatever reason don't have as many hours in the Social Security system, then your benefit, your personal benefit might be smaller than half of your spouse's.
Hmm.
One important thing to note is the half of your spouse's doesn't grow past your age 67. So if you're just going to pick your spouse's half, there's no reason to wait past age 67. Just turn it on right then, even if your spouse is waiting until 70 for their bigger benefit.
Absolutely a strategy to consider.
What else? Any other factors we want to mention?
Sometimes, Jonathan, we get questions like, what if the stock market goes down as I'm pulling money out of this while I'm waiting for Social Security? Or what if I'm worried about Social Security is going to run out? What would you say to someone like during 2008 when it was a big deal that the stock market was declining rapidly? Would you still tell somebody to wait until 70?
Yeah, it is possible if the portfolio wasn't prepared fully for retirement and suddenly like, "Hey, I'm retiring," and it's, "Oh, no, it's a recession. Oh, no, my portfolio is down right now." That might be a good time to instead assuming they're at least age 67, maybe that's a better
Hmm.
time to, okay, at least turn it on, leave the portfolio alone to give it time to recover. Ideally, a good financial planner would have helped set up the portfolio ahead of time so that there is enough of the more stable assets in that portfolio that can weather some of those economic
Yeah, at
storms.
least 3 years, right?
That would be the goal. That's, something we do at Sound Stewardship.
Hmm.
But that could be another trigger that says, okay, I'm going to turn on Social Security to give my portfolio breathing room. So if that would be if you're stressed out about, is it a good time for me to pull from my stocks or my investments? On the flip side, if you have serious concerns about the health of the Social Security system, which that's a broad ranging topic, we could maybe do another video on a different day. Some people are like, well, I don't know how long it's going to be around. I'm going to take it as early as I can and get every penny I can out of it.
I think what I'm hearing, Jonathan, is working with a real financial advisor. There's a lot of considerations that go into when and how to elect Social Security. So make sure you're working with someone like Sound Stewardship or someone that gets all the nuances that play into this. Understand the gotchas, understand the benefits, so that you don't regret your
And I
choices.
think what I hear you saying is that the best person to answer this is not Joe on the golf course
Right. Your buddy Joe?
or Jane during your mahjong game.
Yeah, right.
It is,
Joe
it's
and
more,
Jane might have made a good decision, but it may not be the right decision for you.
yeah,
Right.
it's more nuanced. So
Much
a
more
good
nuanced.
financial planner should be able to help you figure it out. And it's also helpful to, I think, call and talk to the Social Security Administration
Mhm.
because when they give you specific numbers, if you're again age 62 to 70, they can give you precise numbers about what your benefit would be, what your spouse's benefit would be. And it's not as painful as some people think about when they think about calling a government agency.
So another hot tip, Jonathan, is because the Social Security Administration has stopped sending paper statements out to all of us with our potential benefits, we highly recommend that clients create their own login credentials at ssa.gov so that you can retrieve your benefit any day of the week, see the updates.
And another reason to make sure you have that set up at ssa.gov is it is unfortunately a way that people commit fraud is by trying to set up an account profile before an actual retiree has turned on their Social Security benefit. Fraudsters will set up that account and activate someone's Social Security and route it to a bank account. So setting it up is an important way to keep your identity protected as well.
Yep, let's do it.
And if you need help determining when the best time for you to turn on Social Security is, of course, you can always call Sound Stewardship and we'll help you figure it out.